All right, welcome to Best Two Podcast.
Hey, welcome to the conversation with your hosts, Cindy
and Sam.
Hi, how is everybody doing today?
Good. I'm doing good. I don't know how everybody else is doing. I'm good.
Getting ready to head into the weekend. So we have some exciting news. What do we have?
Let's see. Oh, all kinds of things have happened. We've hired a new marketing executive to handle all of our social media that we do not like handling, but it's so important.
Yes, absolutely.
And she has been rocking it.
Yeah, she's been doing a great job.
Her name is
Stacy.
Stacy. Yeah.
And we are now on Apple Podcasts.
Yay!
So we're going to celebrate proper next week with our Best Two Podcast Pink Stiletto Margarita. So you're going to want to come back and see that and virtually drink some. So tell me what your week's been like, Sam. What's going on with you?
Let's see. What have I been doing? Let's see. I made my own cornflakes this week.
You are always making something, so tell us about these cornflakes. And how do you make cornflakes? Seriously.
Well, I was talking once before.
Crazy.
I was talking once before about a show that I watched called Foods That Made America, right?
Yeah.
And in this show, they highlighted Kellogg's and Post.
Uh-huh.
These were individuals, William Kellogg, and I forget Post's first name. But the way Kellogg's cornflakes came about is the brother of William Kellogg was actually a doctor, and he had what was called a sanitarium back then, which is where people would go. The name
Hence
changed.
The flakes.
The name of the meaning has changed over time, but it used to be, we would call it a spa in this day and age, and so people would go, and if they were trying to get back into health, right? They were sick and they wanted to get back into health, so they would go to his sanitarium, and so he basically put together like this granola kind of, like, cooking a bunch of grains because he thought people need to eat better, which is true because they were eating straight up trash back then, like garbage, like rotten meat and all kinds of stuff, and wondering why they were sick. Yeah, and wondering why they were sick.
Oh.
So he was cooking different grains for them to eat while they were staying there at the sanitarium/spa. And one day, his brother, William Kellogg, the brother of the doctor, he was in charge of the cooking of the grains to make like this porridge, right? And one day they left the grains out. He came in and there was like a bowl of it that they, didn't actually put away. And so the guy who worked with him was like, yeah, this was left out. And he's like, let's see if we can do something with it. And so they had...
So wait a minute, let me get this straight. So we're trying to keep them from eating garbage, but we're going to give them something that was left out overnight.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so it, it kind of fermented a little bit, as grains will do if you add water and leave them out overnight, right? And so there was a roller, think like a pasta roller.
Yeah.
That was there in the kitchen, and he said, let's roll it out and see if we can do. Sometimes it's just like happy accidents. Like most of the time when new things are created, they are happy accidents. It's not that someone set out to actually do this thing. Okay. It just came about in this accidental way. So he said, just roll it out. Let's see if we can do something with it. They put it through the roller, and it came out, and it looked like a flake. And he looked at it, and he's like, a flake. And so he put all these flakes onto a baking sheet, and he baked it, right? And then he tasted it after it was baked, and he's like, that's not bad, right? And so the batch that he baked that was left out, after he cooked it, and now you've got this batch of dried flakes, he comes back later in the day, and he sees that the staff had put it in the bowl with some milk, and they're eating it. And he's like, So he tried it and he's like, that's not bad. So he started sort of messing with the formula a little bit. He added a little bit of sugar because his brother, the doctor, was against sugar and salt. So he added a little salt, a little sugar, a little malt flavor, and then that's how, cornflakes got started. So
recycling some garbage.
Well, it wasn't garbage. It was fermented grains left out overnight. And so he literally started, like, his brother didn't want to commercialize these flakes at all.
So this was the brother that doesn't doesn't like sugar and cereal.
Right, the doctor who owned the sanitarium / spa didn't like salt. He didn't like sugar, which makes sense. He's a doctor. He's trying to keep people healthy. But his brother William, who was not a doctor, who was working there, cooking up the porridge, he said, listen, people like this. We should actually, sell it. And the doctor brother was like, no, we're not. And so, again, fate stepped in. The sanitarium burns to the ground, burns up, and William, the brother, says, all right, he goes to a bank, he gets a loan, he says to his doctor brother, who they didn't get along, at all. He says to his doctor brother, I'm going to buy the rights to these, the flakes from you. And the brother's sitting on a bench. He's looking at the burned down sanitarium. He's like, this is enough to get you started on the rebuild. And so he had to take it. So he took it, sold the rights to his brother William. He starts cranking out cornflakes. People love it. I remember eating it as a kid. Cornflakes. Like, who didn't eat cornflakes? Before that, there was no breakfast cereal.
The poor people's food.
Before that, there was no breakfast food. Did you know that?
No.
No breakfast food at all. If you were to ask people, what do you have for breakfast? People would be like, I don't know, just whatever I can dig out of the trash.
So
whatever.
Fermented meat.
Exactly. Whatever wasn't that green this morning, So he revolutionized and started a whole industry that is the breakfast cereal industry. So I thought, well, that's pretty simple. So let me try to make my own cornflakes. So I kind of searched and Googled. We'll tell you when we get back. And we're back.
We're back. All right. So you're going to tell us how to make these cornflakes.
All right. So if you just joined us, we're talking about this week, I made my own cornflakes, gave it a try. Okay. So here's what you do.
I just want to say.
Yeah.
Get lost in the woods, I'm with you.
Okay. You will survive.
Look, Sin, there's a berry bush over there. Let's make some meat.
Exactly. And whip up some dinner with that. All right, so here's what you do. You take cornmeal and you add water to it as if you're going to make grits.
Oh.
You know how to make grits in the microwave?
Okay.
Yeah. So you take cornmeal, you add water to it so it covers it. You put it in the microwave for a minute. After a minute, you stir it. Put it in for another minute, stir it. Another minute, stir it. Now they're cooked. Basically, you have grits.
So I'm thinking white cornmeal.
No, I used yellow. You could use white. Doesn't matter.
Yellow or white cornmeal?
Yeah, I used yellow because that's what we had. And then, so now it's cooked. So it's soft.
Okay.
Right? As if you were eating grits. So now you take that softened cornmeal and you add a little salt. I added some molasses because I wanted that malty flavor because I don't have any malt, but I do have molasses. And molasses is good for you.
So is malt that's not like the malt you make shakes with. It's like malt meal or something like that?
Yeah, it's called malt.
Okay.
And it's a flavor.
Oh.
Yeah. So I added molasses.
Okay.
So it made it sweet, gave it sort of that malty kind of background flavor to it. And then you mix it up and you roll it out with a roller. So I put some olive oil on my rolling pin and rolled it out so it's a flat sheet, and you want to get it as thin as you possibly can.
Okay.
Thin, 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 as if you put it through a pasta press.
Okay.
Okay? Once you get it as thin as you possibly can, then you put it in the oven
Mm-hmm.
and you bake it at about 250 until it actually gets crispy.
So basically, you're just dehydrating. At 250, you're just
Yeah.
dehydrating.
Exactly.
Okay.
Until it gets crispy.
Mm-hmm.
And it literally will start to break into little flakes. It'll break into big flakes, but it'll start to flake. So once it's completely dry,
Okay.
then you take it out, let it cool, because it'll crisp up a little bit more after it's completely dry, and you just break it up into your flakes. And you can either just eat it out of hand, which I did, because I'm like, this tastes just like cornflakes.
Really?
Or you can add some milk and have it as a cereal. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm fascinated by the things you do. How come you didn't bring some so I could try it?
Because the first batch that I made, I ate. There's none left.
They're mine.
Exactly. I totally chowed down on them. With nostalgia.
Who's that?
Exactly. Me and nostalgia. It was great. But yeah, that's what I did.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you're going to put this up on best2podcast.org website, right? Because that's...
Like, how
people
to
love
make your
stuff
own-
like that.
I'm gonna say I don't know, because I feel like I want to perfect it a little bit more before
Okay.
I give it to the world. Like, hey, try this.
So after she perfects it a little more, we'll put it up on the website, and you guys can make your own cornflakes.
You can give it a try
in the
and
morning.
see what you think.
I think that's fascinating, though.
Yeah.
I think that's cool. I didn't even know you could do that.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
And what'd you do?
What have I done? Oh my goodness, Asamia. Let me see. I don't know. I just got obsessed with a lot of stuff that I was making. So well, let me talk about some of the things that Cindy's new obsessions. Let me tell you about some of my new obsessions.
I want to hear that.
So I found these things at Big Lots when our niece was staying with us, called crispy fruit. And I realized that I had eaten. So they come in a big bag of 6. And I realized that she probably got 1 bag out of the 6. But they're really good.
Why did she only get 1 bag out of the 6? What happened to the other 5?
You take a wild guess.
Okay. Well, open it up. Let me try it.
I got obsessed. So they have flavors.
That's pear.
This is pear. This is mango.
You have to hold it longer because yours like
Oh,
flash.
sorry. Okay, so this is pear.
Yeah.
And this is mango.
And this is not sponsored. So
Yeah, no,
this
this-
is stuff that she like truly likes.
No,
not
this
getting
is
paid.
Yeah, we're not getting paid for this. This is just stuff, my obsessions. And then this is tangerine.
Ooh.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
And then this one is banana.
Banana.
And then they have apple, obviously, and they have cantaloupe, which they weren't at Big Lots, so I never tried those. So, but these are delicious.
Well, open it up. I want to try it.
And then I went to their website. Which flavor do you want to try?
Well, I love pear and mango, so either one.
Okay, so try the pear because you know
Okay.
what mango tastes like.
Okay.
But so try that and see what you think.
Oh, they're dehydrated.
Yeah,
okay.
they're freeze dried.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Isn't that? Don't you love it?
I do.
So there's your new obsession.
Yay.
I love them. So you can go to their website at crispy fruit. What is it? Crispy fruit. No. What is it? ChrisGreen.com.
Where did you find it?
At Big Lots.
At Big Lots. Oh, that's interesting.
But apparently they sell them in Whole Foods too. But I got them at Big Lots because they were on sale at
Wait,
Big
let me
Lots.
try the mango
You
because
want to try mango?
yeah, because I really like Trader Joe's dehydrated
Yeah, I
mango.
do. I do
so
too.
I want to like taste compare.
But these look like Trader Joe's are lighter, and these are like deep and light. I like them.
They're good.
Can you hear that crunchiness? Hear the crunch. Feel the crunch. So, crispygreen.com. Go and check it out where you can buy them in your area. They're delicious. I love them. It's my new obsession. You can find the information. You'll be able to find the information on our website under Cindy's New Obsessions on best2podcast.org.
Yeah.
So my next obsession also found at Big Lots.
Went Big Lot crazy.
I did. I love Big Lots.
Do you?
Now, I haven't really been in there for anything.
I think of it as furniture, like having patio furniture and
Yeah,
stuff.
see, I never think of it as furniture. I always think of it as going in there and just buying like odds and ends stuff.
Yeah.
Which I've done in the past, but I went on a whole new adventure in there this time.
Oh, interesting.
It was awesome. So I found this tea called Pure Leaf, which I love.
I've tried
it's
that
not,
before.
It's not super strong because it's green tea. So, and I think they do have it in black tea, but I haven't tasted the black tea. But I've been drinking the green ones. So don't buy it thinking it's gonna have that full-on strong tea taste because it's green tea. It's not. But it's delicious and I like it. It's refreshing.
Yeah.
It's like if you want something a little more than water.
Yeah.
But you don't want to drink soda.
Right.
And you don't want to drink.
Is it super sweet?
No, it's not. Here, let's give you a little taste.
All right. Do we have a cup?
We don't have a cup. But
Ooh, but you're spilling it all over the place.
Dog blast it.
Dagnabbit. Okay, let me go grab a cup.
So she's gonna go grab a cup, and I'm gonna talk a little bit more about this. So this is this has organic green tea. It has cane sugar in it, which I don't know if cane sugar is necessarily I don't know if it's necessarily better for you than it might be.
I think it's better than a white
You
processed sugar.
Yeah, you tell me because I don't know.
Yeah. So a white processed sugar is like cocaine. Honestly, when you'll notice if you eat something that has that white processed sugar in it for the next week to 2 weeks, you will be craving sweet things.
Is that right?
Yes, and you won't know why. You'll just be like, I want a donut, or I want a cake, or I want a candy bar. For some reason, you'll be feeling like you want more sugar.
Okay.
And it's because you ate something that had that white processed sugar in it. So it triggers something that makes us want more. However, if you use like agave, which is a sweetener where they take the agave plant and they basically cook it, caramelize it, and get the natural sugars out of the agave, it doesn't give your blood sugar a spike, and it doesn't give you that craving of I want more sugar, I want more sugar, I want more sugar.
Okay.
The next step down from that is like using a cane sugar. You're still gonna have a craving if you use a cane sugar. It's not gonna be as powerful as if you used a white processed sugar.
So is white processed sugar, is that like just
that
processed all the way down to make you crazy? You might as well be snorting it.
Kinda, yeah. Well, yeah, okay, so think about where sugar comes from. It comes from the sugar cane, right?
Yeah.
There's sugar beets as well.
Yeah.
So some sugar comes from a sugar beet. But sugar cane is historically what was used for sugar. So you would take the cane, slice it, right? Because it looks like a piece of bamboo, is what sugar cane looks like. Do you remember like chewing on it as a kid?
Yeah,
Where
actually
you could buy
I do.
it and you
I
can
actually
like
do.
chew on it?
I actually do.
Yeah, so there's a lot of sugar in a piece of sugar cane. And so they put it through a press, and it squeezes out the liquid. It squeezes out the juice, which is sugar.
Okay.
Then they take that and they boil it down. And you end up getting molasses off first. And then you keep boiling it, and you end up with the brown sugar. It still has some molasses in it. That's what makes it brown.
Oh, so that's
It's
like
not completely
what they
boiled.
call it, raw sugar?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the degree of brown is how much molasses it still has in it.
Oh, okay.
And then from there, if you were to take that brown sugar, and now I don't even know what they use to bleach it. I couldn't even tell you what they use to completely bleach it that gives it that craving characteristic. That's how you end up with white processed sugar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so cane sugar is what it is before they just take it all the way down to white.
Exactly, before they fully process it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no, this is not that sweet, which is what I love about it. And this particular flavor that you're drinking is the Fiji apple and ginger. And it's just really light.
I really taste the ginger.
It's just very refreshing. And so I've been loving it. I found that at Big Lots. And so that you can find, they also have a hibiscus, which I taste the hibiscus. That's their herbal line.
Oh, that's
so they have
probably really tasty.
They have and the hibiscus is in different flavors too. That like they have a hibiscus passion fruit. They have hibiscus lemonade, all made with cane sugar.
I like that.
And I like it too. I like the hibiscus.
Yeah,
so you might want to try that as well.
I make my own hibiscus tea.
Do you?
Yeah, if you go to a lot of the ethnic markets, they'll actually have the hibiscus flowers. They're in a bag.
So you just
like in the spice aisle. Yeah, you go in the spice aisle, and it'll be in a bag, and it's really inexpensive. You can get a bag like, I don't know, this big.
It's about a foot, maybe 6 inches.
It's about 6 inches.
No, 6-inch bag.
It's a 6-inch bag of hibiscus flowers. They're reddish in color because it's what you see, the flower. You know, and it'll cost you maybe $1.99. And you take a small handful and you put it in a pot of water and you boil it, and it becomes this beautiful red color, and you get this depth of flavor. You almost have this hibiscus tea concentrate by the time you're done. And you just use that. You put it over ice, because now you have a concentrate. Put it over ice with some extra cold water, and it's fantastic.
Just think if you can make your own flavors. You can make your own herbal teas. Your own line of herbal teas.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
And hibiscus has a really high vitamin C pump to it, so it's good for you, actually.
Oh, cool. Okay. Oh, awesome.
Yeah, you don't want to go pulling the flowers off a plant when you're walking down the street.
Yeah, don't do that.
Because you don't know who sprayed it.
You don't know what it's sprayed with.
Exactly.
Don't do
that. But make sure they're organically grown, and
cool.
Yeah.
By the way, these crispy fruits. The other thing I like about them is that they don't taste as sweet as dehydrated. So these are freeze dried, people. They are not dehydrated. That's not, because dehydrated, when I see the dehydrated fruit, is still kind of moist and kind of rubbery.
Yeah, depending on how much they stopped before it was fully dehydrated.
But these are actually freeze dried, and I don't know how they get crispy, how they get puffy.
Because they don't have any water in them at all.
Oh.
Yeah.
Delicious.
It's really good.
You guys try that. So for the Pure Leaf teas, go to pureleaf.com. They have a whole line of yummy teas. Like little teas, and they have them in little jars, like little spice jars. They're so cute. Like not in an envelope. In a little spice jar.
Oh, that's cute.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
And so I just love that. That's my other new obsession, Pure Leaf, which will also be on our website, best2podcast.org, under Cindy's new obsessions.
Love it.
Now, these are awesome. So we have a new neighbor, and I've been following her on Instagram, and she has this wonderful, creative, quirky mind. And so when she comes up with a new card, she puts it up on her Instagram. And I look at it, and it makes me laugh.
Okay.
And I get it. It's like, I get it. Millennial humor. I get it. So I always comment on them. And I found myself just being obsessed, waiting for her to put up the next new card.
Oh, okay, to see what she comes up with
yeah,
next.
to see what she comes up with next.
Yeah.
So I got to show you some of her cards that she's come up with. It's like, hey, Fran, you get it.
Yeah. Like it.
And then this is for,
You're getting older. Happy birthday.
Golder.
Golder, as in golden retriever.
Golden girls. That's the
golden
golden girls.
Yeah.
And then friendships never end.
Oh, that's cute.
Who are they?
The Spice Girls.
There they are. Oh, this one I love. This one is just funny to me. I just love this.
There's a newbie on your boobie.
See?
Okay.
See? And then there's just the Drake.
I like that one. Drake on a unicorn.
Yeah. I just love it.
This is my favorite.
This
one. Smack that ass. I love that. That's so cute.
Don't you love that?
Yes, I love that.
It's just awesome. Oh, this one had me rolling.
Avoid family. Play dead. Happy holidays. That's cute.
That one had me dying
I love
laughing.
it.
People like the possum ones. She said that she sells a lot of the possum.
Well,
I'm not a possum person myself.
Avoid family, play dead resonates with a lot of people. Can totally relate to that.
And then she has a lot of these ones sell pretty good too.
It's
I guess.
Keanu Reeves.
Yes,
Aww,
I love it.
That's cute.
So her company is called Finance Lines, and I like her logo. Can you guys see that? I like her.
Yeah, that's cute.
It is cute the way she did it. She has a really quirky, creative mind.
Yeah, I really like it.
And I just love it. So you guys can go to financelines.com and look at her cards and shop. And I think there's like some gift boxes there as well. And it's just funny. And she says that people actually use them as wallpaper. She said
as wallpaper.
I guess they're sturdy enough that people actually use them. Take the cards and use them as wallpaper.
Interesting.
Like in their offices, they just
you pin them up and then it covers the office wall with
it's just wallpaper your wall with them.
Yeah, that's it.
And you can also find them at the Paper Source and Urban Outfitters. She's in Urban Outfitters and Paper Source.
Good for her. Way to go.
Right. So she's fantastic. So I really like her, and I just wanted to give her a little shout out because I'm obsessed with her cards.
Awesome.
So that information will also be up on our website, best2podcast.org, under Cindy's new obsessions.
Yay.
So that's all my new obsessions for right now.
All right.
And what else is going on? What else we got? I'm excited.
Let's see. I don't know.
What is
you wanted to talk about different charity organizations?
Yeah. I am of the mind that sometimes people are going through things and they don't know what is out there for them if they need help. And so I want to start spotlighting some charities that help women and our children. So if you have any ideas, please email us at best2podcast@gmail.com and give us some input. And also, you had something you wanted to start highlighting.
I wanted to highlight some of our listeners and the businesses that they have created, because I'm seeing some of the things that you guys are doing and loving it, like the cards and things like that. And so I think women as a community, we should be supporting each other in our builds.
I agree with you 100%.
Because I'm all about entrepreneurism.
Right.
Probably said that totally didn't roll off my tongue right. Being an entrepreneur, how's that? I really want to support that. So if you guys are building something, you're doing your own thing, you are being that girl boss, we want to know about it. We want to spotlight you and your product. So email us at
best2podcast@gmail.com.
Awesome.
And I think that's awesome because I've been looking at our Facebook, And I've actually been looking at the things that women are doing, what they do for employment, because it asks you your employment and all that.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot of entrepreneurs. I mean,
Yes.
I would say, like, let me go out on a limb and say probably more than 85% of the people on our Facebook feed are entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs.
There you go.
and a lot of them are holistic, massage, makeup. Makeup is really a big deal. And I have we have someone on there that's does oils, and there's a lot of people on there that actually believe and use the oils a lot for different things. So that'd be something to talk about, because I'm interested in how people use them. But I'm also interested in how women get these businesses started.
Yeah.
What directs them? Is this something you've started up after you've retired, or
is it your lifeboat? You
exactly.
know? Yeah.
Exactly.
I think I would really love to start interviewing some of our women bosses that are doing that, and kind of, talk to them, spotlight their products if they're making something, good, and share that wisdom as to how they did the build. I think that's super important, because we're all trying to do our own thing out there and get where we're trying to go.
There's a lot of life coaches on there too. Life coaches.
Well, that makes sense, because, if you've been through life and you've seen a lot of things, you've got a lot to give back to people who are maybe struggling in starting what they're doing, and they want to hear from someone who has experience.
Yeah.
There's this this guy that I follow because I love coding.
Yeah.
And his name is Siraj Raval, and he tweeted this one tweet. He said, and I'm going to paraphrase because I don't remember it exactly, something like, "Don't ever follow someone who hasn't done that thing they're trying to tell you to do."
Ah.
And that makes sense.
I like it. Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, I mean, we forget about that that experience is huge.
Yeah.
So, I really want to spotlight women who are doing that and kind of bring that a little bit more to the forefront. But, we have had some amazing things happen this month, actually. September has been, like, a really exciting month.
Enlighten me.
Well, you were there. You were there.
I was there.
I'm going to refresh your memory.
Because September's gone in my mind now.
Yeah. So we were.
What do we do?
We're on Apple Podcasts now.
We are on Apple Podcasts, like we said at the beginning of the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're going to celebrate by making.
Yeah. Next week you can catch our.
We're going to try to do a live cast on YouTube on how to make our signature
Best to Podcast Pink Stiletto Margarita.
Yeah.
Doesn't that sound fantastic? This sounds fantastic. Wait till you guys see it. It's going to be so good.
We're creating it this week, but it's going to be our signature drink to celebrate the fact that we're now syndicated across the different
everything.
podcast platforms, and we like
Use
to celebrate in general.
everything.
We like to celebrate in general. All right, so
we're doing some really great stuff.
we are. Let's
So
say goodbye.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for joining us.
Yeah.
And just hit us up at best2podcast@gmail.com and
best2podcast.org for the website.
exactly.
And wherever you listen to your podcast now, you can find us. Just type in Best 2 Podcast.
We are everywhere.
We're everywhere.
You want to be. So thank you for joining the conversation, and we will